So, ladies and gentlemen, I want to address something to you, the audience. And look, I have 3 kids, very small children, and we are very selective of what we allow our children to watch or to hear. I've been told in my life, because I've been homeschooled and my parents were strict on me, and they wanted to make sure that I didn't absorb anything in my mind that would hurt me in the future. Now, as an adult, I see why my parents did certain things. You know, when you're young, you're like, man, why do my parents, do this to me? They must not want me to have fun. And it's not about not having fun. It's about protecting you. And ladies and gentlemen, I let my children watch a movie called McGee and Me. And they had a show on there called The Not So Great Escape. And it was basically about this premise of you allowing stuff into your mind. And the dad in the show of McGee and Me said that, your mind is like a vacuum. What you put in your mind, or what you put in your mind, you're gonna produce out. So if you put garbage in your mind, it's gonna produce garbage. So, and we wonder why America is in the shape it's in, and that is because parents allow their children to be influenced by something. Now, parents would say, well, we want them to be free spirit. We want them to be, express themselves. And you can't do that. If you're a parent, you have children, I can't go ahead and stand behind this microphone and tell you how to raise your children, because I won't let you tell me how to raise mine. And ladies and gentlemen, we're going back to the premise of, there is certain things I don't allow my children to watch. We talked about it the other day. Paw Patrol. Paw Patrol has not played in my house, to my knowledge, since they came out and supported the LGBTQ lifestyle. Now, some people might say you're dogmatic and you don't want your children to express other options. Ladies and gentlemen, in my home, there's only 2 genders, a male and a female. There ain't 355 other genders out there. There's a male and a female. Now, if my kids grow up and they want to believe that, I will tell them they're wrong, and I will love them, but I will tell them they're wrong. Now, on this point, why am I bringing this up? Well, ladies and gentlemen, Britney Spears' new memoir came out this week, is coming out this week, and is The Woman in Me. And ladies and gentlemen, I seen the cover of this book, and I will tell you I'm not reading it. It's not because I don't want to see what's inside the book. I see it, and look, a lot of people say you can't read a book by cover. Yes, you can. When you have Britney Spears, who is one of the biggest personalities out there, and in the cover of a book, it's her topless with a pair of jeans. That book can tell me everything that is going on. And what I've heard from it now, I don't recommend children or young ladies or young men or anybody to read this book. Why? It's not to stop her book sales. It's to protect you, the child, or to protect you, someone that is reading this. But ladies and gentlemen, this memoir came out, and there's some shocking claims in this book, with one being that Justin Timberlake, who formerly dated Britney Spears in 1999 to 2002, I'm trying to say this in the nicest way possible, had some relationships together. I know young children watch this show, and Britney Spears became pregnant. And in the book, Britney Spears admits to having an abortion. Now, us here at the Cajun Conservative Show and BGS Media, we think that abortion is wrong. And ladies and gentlemen, one of the reasons why they chose to have an abortion, Britney Spears says in her book, is because, first off, Justin Timberlake didn't want it. Now, we have not heard from Justin Timberlake. There's always 2 sides of a story. But according to Britney Spears, Justin Timberlake did not want to have the baby. He was not ready to be a father. Now, they were young. But Britney Spears went ahead and went along with the idea that she didn't want to have a child either. And ladies and gentlemen, this story I know it's old from 2002, but it's coming out in a recent book, so I think we should talk about it. This fuels my theory that abortions are not always what they seem. It's always based on convenience. And look, ladies and gentlemen, I understand you might have some people out there, and there's even some in my own party that says, well, hold on, we will go ahead and, what about rape victims? What about a child with muscular dystrophy? What about, and they'll come up with all this stuff. But ladies and gentlemen, at the end of the day, it comes down to convenience. Listen to this story. Why did Justin Timberlake encourage Britney Spears to not to have an abortion? It was because they were rising stars, and if they would have a baby right now, it would ruin their stardom. That was in the mind of Justin Timberlake. Ladies and gentlemen, now, like I said, she evidently went with it. She said she probably would have kept the child, and I applaud her for keeping. I wish she would have, and this whole conversation would have been different. Now she says in the book that she was traumatized by the experience, and this fits into the narrative again that abortion does traumatize women. A lot of people will go ahead and say, well, Isaac, hold on. Sometimes some women might not be able to have children, and they or not have children, but have the child because they're not wealthy, they're not this, and they're going to be fine. You have all these clinics, but you notice majority of the abortion clinic, Planned Parenthood included, when these women have an abortion, they throw them out on the street and they're traumatized, and it led to other things. But this in my opinion, I'm watching this and I'm seeing this, and I know there's some on the left and even possibly some on the right saying, Isaac, this is dogmatic. You shouldn't be saying this about these two people. But this is why I do not encourage children to follow certain celebrities. Because celebrities, ladies and gentlemen, when it really comes down to is that they had this abortion. And ladies and gentlemen, you know how many men and women, because follow Justin Timberlake and Britney Spears, you got to realize these two people were on the Mickey Mouse Clubhouse, a famous Disney program that is still going on today, not in the form that it was back in the day with Justin Timberlake and Britney Spears, but that show is still going on in Mickey Mouse Clubhouse. And you know how many children from the 90s and the 2000s followed these two individuals? How many people are listening to their music today? And how many people are influenced by their music today? Probably in the millions. And ladies and gentlemen, these two people decided to have an abortion. One was all out on it. Hey, let's have an abortion so I can have my career. And then you had Britney Spears, who was thinking about keeping the child, but evidently decided, hey, I'm going to go ahead and abort this child. Ladies and gentlemen, you should not let your children listen to these people. And look, this is besides the point of Britney Spears dressing like a slut every music video, and you have Justin Timberlake, if you remember, pulling the shirt off of Janet Jackson on the Super Bowl stage. Isaac, that was I hear that all the time and it aggravates me. That was a wardrobe malfunction. The man put his hand and went back and grabbed it. His hand closed. There ain't no wardrobe malfunction. Ain't no wardrobe malfunction there, ladies and gentlemen. But you have these people that had an abortion all because of convenience to their career. How many women and how many men are going to follow their example? Well, hold on, Isaac, you're trying to say men can get pregnant? No, but what if a man hears this story and he gets a woman pregnant, and the woman says, look, I want to keep it, and the first things out of his mouth is like, no, I want to further my career, you got to abort the child. Now we know some on the left and some on the right, unfortunately, believe no, a woman has a right, because that is not a child in the womb. That is just a little fetus, and it don't live, and it don't. You hear all these freaking lies from the left and some on the right, unfortunately. But that is a life. And this is why I don't allow my children to listen to Britney Spears and Justin Timberlake. And ladies and gentlemen, the media soaks this up. I've the Daily Mail, the Fox News, I think even Daily Wire ran a story with it. Ladies and gentlemen, you know how many people are running this story? The media, and look, they don't even talk about, they put the traumatizing part later on in the story. And if you're like me, I read more stories now, but when I didn't do this for, you know, to do a podcast, I would just skim the first part of the story. Most stories did not include, or they put it way at the bottom, that she was traumatized after this. And this made her do some stupid stuff later on. All the media push is she had an abortion. In the new article, in the new book, The Woman in Me, which we need to ask, run across, we need to ask Britney Spears, what is a woman? Apparently she knows, and some college professors don't know. But ladies and gentlemen, it's, you know how many people are gonna go ahead? You know, the media is pushing. Excuse me, I got distracted. Shoot that rabbit. Anyway, but ladies and gentlemen, the media is look. Britney Spears had an abortion. Britney Spears had an abortion. You women that are thinking about it, y'all should just do it because Britney Spears did it. And that's what the media is hoping people show. But it's funny, ladies and gentlemen. The parents, the celebrities that should be followed and that are doing stuff right are criticized. What do I mean? Well, Blue Jays Eric Swinson defended hunting with his young son. I am teaching him a very important life lesson. That's right, ladies and gentlemen. This baseball player, I believe is a pitcher of the Blue Jays, brought his son hunting. Didn't do nothing wrong with a gun. Just went hunting. And the media and people on the left criticized this man. They went ahead and they fussed that he had birds around his son and calling his son and him a murderer. And look, he said, I'm showing my son I'm teaching him life lessons and important lessons. Spending time with the child. He had the child. And they're criticizing him for hunting. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to say this right here. And I'm going to make a bold statement. The left cares more about a bird getting shot by a hunter than a baby in a womb. Think about it. Okay, look, this whole story I just brought about Britney Spears and the pitcher from the Blue Jays. They praise Britney Spears for having an abortion, killing a life in the womb. But they will not, but they're going to criticize a man that takes his son and kills a bird to eat for his son to survive. Oh, that's hateful, man. That man, you saw that man? He shot them birds. Saw that man? He shot Bambi's daddy. Oh! But a woman has an abortion. Oh, you did the right thing. You can go on with your life. You can live. You can do your career. The man encouraged it all. It's even better. How bad? This is why I don't talk about this subject too much. It makes me too mad. Ladies and gentlemen, you had a power couple in society abort a child, and it's known, God, almost 30 years later, 20 years later. And the left, oh, Britney had an abortion because they didn't want to mess up their career. Nah, I drove her crazy, but hey, the point is she had an abortion. But a man spending time with his father, spending time with his son, showing him the hunt, that's a crime at the age. That can't happen. That shouldn't happen. That's wrong. Now, ladies and gentlemen, in my observation of these two stories, I would encourage kids not to follow Britney Spears or Justin Timberlake, as I said earlier. I would encourage them to follow the man that decided to have a son. Look, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to bring this point out because I really feel this needs to get hit home. Because the media side, the media, like I said, the media will defend Britney Spears for having an abortion. But they're going to cut down a man that spent time with his son, or a man kneeling on a football field, or a person going on the stage and said, look, I give credit to my Lord and Savior Jesus Christ. More people need to follow celebrities like Grace Lyons Turk and her husband, Michael Turk. They need to follow more celebrities like Tim Tebow and this baseball player that decided to show his son how to hunt. They need to look at more people like Kirk Cameron and Kevin Sorbo, our friend here at the studio. Ladies and gentlemen, we need to encourage our young people to follow those examples. Not a slut that has a topless that's topless on her book cover, or a man that said, "Hey, I don't want to mess up my career because I'm not ready to be a daddy, so you're gonna have to go ahead and have that child aborted." We need to really encourage our children to follow God-leaning people, not devils. I hate to say it like that.